Normal type Pokemon often get a bad rap. They lack flashy super effective moves and their stats are not the greatest. But I've always believed that they are underrated and I wanted to prove it. So I decided to take on a Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge in Pokémon Black 2 using only a normal type Pokemon team. Make sure you like and subscribe for more epic Pokemon content. Our journey begins with my rival, Thanos, as we head off to receive our starters. Since there's no normal option, I put Rufflet into the game as I'm playing Black 2 and there's no level 25 Bravery available after the third gym. Now, with Cap, my jolly natured Rufflet, I take down Thanos' Tepig and we head on with our adventure. On Route 19 we catch our first team member, Bucky. Route 20 we catch our second, Falcon, and then on Flokesi Ranch we catch Lillipup, who's named Black Panther, our third team member. Now, after we defeat Thanos again with our incredible team, we head over to the normal type gym, a fitting start. Cap makes quick work of our opponents, easily defeating Patrat and Lillipup with Wing Attack. 1 badge down, 7 to go. Before challenging our next gym leader, Roxy, we're able to catch another Pokemon. In the Verbac complex, we capture Hulk, our Ordino, our 5th member of the team. Now, onto the gym we go with our confidence at an all-time high due to the depth and awesomeness of our team. Roxy leads with her level 16 Coughing, who we send Cap out to battle. After defeating it and taking minimal damage, I decide it's smart to leave Cap in for the Whirlipede, even though it's a higher level. Cap uses a stab, super effective wing attack to defeat the poison type second gym. Now, we're doing very, very well. We're breezing through this challenge and at this point, I feel like there's nothing that can stop me. But before we get to the next stop in our journey, we must help Thanos fend off some Team Plasma grunts. Easy.
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me cause I'm sailing on a boat.
Next up, Castelia. At the harbour we see a really cool boat, which I'm sure is not there for any nefarious reasons. Anyway, off to the gym I go. Oh, nope, never mind. Looks like I'm following this boat. Nope, okay. Joining up with Thanos, that's fine. I can catch our next Pokemon then. So, Hawkeye R. Rattata unfortunately does not make the starting roster for this next gym fight. Now I defeat a few more grunts in the sewer and then I'm accosted by the gym leader and also some mad scientists. Anyway, we go back up into the grass and we catch our 6th team member, Black Widow, our incredibly powerful Lopunny. The team now, after a few additions and evolutions, is looking rather formidable, I must say. This run is looking very promising. Onto the leader, with Falcon coming out first to deal super effective damage, followed by Black Widow and then finally Cap. We deal with Berg with relative ease, and surprisingly, no deaths yet. I'm sure this is due to my immense skill. Next we've got a fight which came as quite a surprise to me, I wasn't expecting it. It's a double battle with some rando partner. The opposing 2 types were super effective on my entire team, so I had to hope Black Widow could take 1 hit. Luckily, she toughed it out and lived on 8, enabling Cap to come in after the Boldor had been taken out and take out the girder. Following this close call, we potentially get the single most important member of our team, Iron Man, our Minchino. After rearranging the team a bit, we go on a cute little Ferris wheel date and then waste our time on some roller coasters just to miss the leader. Ugh. We start with Black Widow, who gets some good damage off on the Emolga before a Volt Switch. Unfortunately though, due to the paralysis, we were forced to switch out to the Black Panther, who takes out the Emolga and gets good damage on the Flaffy. But again, a paralysis and damage mean we have to swap out and we go to Bucky, who lands a clutch hypnosis, which leads to our victory. With that we have our 4th gym badge and have the looming threat of what I think will be the toughest leader of this run. After running into Thanos and beating up some grunts, we meet a Heartbreaker, then beat him and run into more grunts, but this time they're wearing different colours. Then we defeat a rather rude man. Then we get a shiny stone and evolve our Minchino into the almighty Chinchino, who is shockingly actually quite powerful. Going into this fight, we have our 5 best Pokemon, who have gotten us through so much. We've had hard battles and close calls, but this will be our toughest challenge yet. So, on to Clay, the incredibly powerful ground type leader. He starts with a Krokorok, which has Intimidate. Our Iron Man, holding a Razor Claw, can handle that with no problem. But that's only 1 down. Next up is Sandslash, who takes a Tail Slap and causes us to switch to Bucky, who unfortunately gets critted. Then Black Panther comes in and uses Return to take out the Sandslash. The most challenging opponent is now out, the Steel Ground type Excadrill, which poses a resistance. Forgetting about it, Rock Slide we take on Cap, who takes a super effective hit, and miraculously lands on 1 HP. It becomes clear at this point that we need to make a sacrifice. None of our team members can survive a hit and take down Excadrill, so we're forced to make a tough decision that's best for the team. We have to say goodbye to Bucky, our second team member who contributed so much. It's difficult to send him in knowing that this will be the end, but we do so in order to send in Black Widow, who can hopefully land 2 super effective jump kicks and defeat Excadrill. Unfortunately, Bulldoze slows us down, so we have to make yet another sacrifice. Although she hasn't been with us long, she was an essential part of Unova's mightiest heroes. However, this gives us the opportunity to send in Black Panther and secure the victory. With that, we have 5 badges and a tear in our eye, but we need to push on. After this, there was a restructuring of the team. After some World Championship fights and a battle on a boat, we eventually get the move which would have saved us some pain in the last fight, Surf. Then, straight away, we are thrust into another gym, the Flying type gym. I was determined to make this battle less painful than the last, so I sent out the Panther against Swoobat and crunched it to death. Then Iron Man came into the Swanna with a deadly tail slap. But to mitigate any risk of death, I swapped him out for Hawkeye to finish it off. Then another Steel type third Pokemon. Not good. But luckily 3 Surfs and an Air Slash from Panther and Falcon respectively did the job. Badge 6. After getting on a plane and traversing the tunnels inside a mountain, we run into a Mad Titan once again, but this time we managed to deal with him with relative ease. Next we had a little story time with Bianca and the Professor, then we double teamed Thanos and the purple haired girl has returned to see us again. Next up is the Dragon type gym, which should be relatively easy as we have a full team. The layout is so much better than the original, that shit took me ages to figure out. Drayden starts with a Druddigon, which our Black Panther deals with just raw strength and power. Next up is Flygon, a return followed by a Sucker Punch does the job. Then, taking advantage of the repetitive Dragon Dances, Hulk returns the damage and kills the Haxorus. Somehow. Now we can go to the PWT and get some new moves before the next part of the story unfolds. We have a bit of story time and then it gets a little bit chilly outside. After Iron Man's Rock Blast makes its debut, we get the DNA splices, have a cute little FaceTime with our friends, and then we go on a cool walk through a bridge under the water. On the other side of this bridge, we find our final gym. There's lily pads and the leader and a shell-smashing turtle. This scary turtle comes out first, but falls to 3 of our Panther's digs, and then we do not learn Last Resort. Then 2 Stab returns to destroy the Warlord, and all we have to do is deal with a Jellicent. Easy. And that is our 8 gym leaders dealt with. We only have a few more important battles we have to deal with. First, we head west to talk to the mad scientist who gives us his self-named machine, which we use to animate a crab. Then the big-ass boat returns, and we have to battle more grunts. Then we have to complete a puzzle to open a gate, and we double battle with Thanos yet a bloody again. Once we win the fight, we're kicked off of the boat, which sails away. And then after grabbing the important Ice Beam TM, we head into the reasonably sized cavern to see the old V-New plasma grunts facing off. After we slip and slide across the ice for a bit, we then open another gate using our special code we figured out and get into yet another fight with Zinzalin, which ends the same way as it always does. Then we step on a panel and oh my god, what? The mad scientist works for Team Plasma? Who would have ever guessed that? But this steel team will be quite the challenge for our normal team. I guess we should just head into it. We lead with Hawkeye to fight against the opposing Magneton and manage to deal super effective damage on the switched in Magnezone. But unfortunately after a full power Magnezone flash cannons and down falls Hawkeye, the third Mon to die on this run. We now need to pivot to the Hulk, who also has a super effective move Dig. Breaking through the paralysis, our Hulk gets off the super effective damage, and knowing there's nothing it can do, the opponent self-destructs. However, as we click to dig again, the Magnezone self-destructed before we hit it. The Kling Clang avoids the dig using its air balloon and sets up. Knowing there isn't a way for me to hit it super effectively while it still has its air balloon, we have to risk Hulk to get that balloon popped. while valiantly trying to break through the paralysis, and eventually doing so, Hulk goes down to a boosted Giga Impact. However, not only does this give us a free switch, it enables us to have that extra turn while it recharges. We take advantage of this and send in the Panther, who uses Fire Fang to annihilate the Klimklang. The next 3 Pokemon stand no chance against the might of Black Panther's super effective moves against them, and we make it through the battle with no more unnecessary losses. After this, with our remaining 4 Mons, we head to the next room, Ghetsis. We get a lot of exposition followed by all 3 members of the Shadow Triad. After defeating these, we head further into the tiny chasm and go into a spooky cave. Now, this next bit is so cool. I loved this cutscene as a kid. It was the peak of epicness, and I always thought Black Cura was the absolute coolest Pokemon in the world. I hated Ghetsis because of how powerful he is, and I would always need a couple of attempts to beat him. But we can't possibly win with only 4 team members. Rewind, we need to catch some more. First, we catch a Dunsparce named Thor, and we teach him Ice Beam. Then, we catch Loki, and evolve our starter, finally, into Braviary. We also evolve Clefairy Loki into Clefable, also Loki. Then we face our biggest challenge yet, Ghetsis. First though, we take on the Kyurem, who is taken out by a lucky crit from the Black Panther. Now, the big bad of the game, we finally get to take on Ghetsis. After a long slog of back and forth attacks, Black Panther finally manages to take out the Cofagrigus, which leads to his next member, Seismitoad. Cap avoids a hit from, then flies to deal epic damage and take it out on the next attack. Next up's Electros, who, unsurprisingly, makes us remove Cap from the field of battle and replace him with Thor, who eats 2 attacks, then heals himself and deals some damage with Ice Cream. With the Electros having taken a bit of damage, we're able to send in Iron Man, who can then take it out with only 1 tail slap. Next out is Toxicroak, who's taken out by Falcon, who also manages to land a critical hit on a return against the High Dragon, which is pretty lucky and also quite cool. I never liked Unpheasant, but because of his usefulness this and upcoming battles, I have a new respect for it. After Drapion and Ghetsis are defeated, we move on to the badge check, where they'll take all our hard-earned badges. As we proceed to Victory Road, where we're blindsided by Thanos. But in true form, we destroy him so easily, it's not even worth showing. Before the Elite Four, we get Psychic to teach to Loki, and then head into the fight. Chantel. The Ghost-type trainer leads with Cofagrigus. We lead with Loki, use Psychic until a full restore is used, and then in comes the big hitter, Black Panther, which finished it off with some crunches. However, due to the sustained burn, it is now rendered useless in this battle. Golurk comes in and we send out Falcon predicting the ground move, which was wrong, but the Brick Break isn't too strong anyway, and after 4 air slashes, Golurk falls. Next to grace the field of battle is Drifblim, who Iron Man obliterates with a hard-hitting rock blast. Finally, the Ace Chandelure comes in and we send in Cap, who takes way too much damage. And because of this, I realise Thor's going to have to be sacrificed to ensure the survival of our team. And we get the free switch into Iron Man, and you know the rest. This next fight is probably the hardest one. As a fighting type, it's super effective against a normal type. And even though we have some flying types, they've got rock type moves to counter those. Throw is up first, and is taken down by Cap, as is Conkeldurr. And we actually have a plan for the rest of the fight. We gave Falcon a Toxic Orb, and after the Panther breaks the sturdy of Sork, we send in the Falcon to use a boosted Facade, which takes out Sork and Minshina. Surprisingly, not too difficult of a battle. We had a good strategy for Grimsley, which started with our Toxic Orb strat, followed by Cap, Black Panther's Surf, and finally Cap again, using his superpower. Against Caitlyn we used every member of our team to take out the tricky psychic types, but unfortunately Falcon fell. Our third Pokemon we caught, gone. On to the final battle. Iris, the champion. This was another 6v6, except we only had 4. 4 normal types against a team that is ridiculously strong and tough to beat even with a regular team. First is Hydreigon. We send out Black Panther, who returns a few times until the full restore is used. Then we risk Black Panther as we have no easy switching, but he comes in clutch and gets a crit. With this feint, we level up and learn the move Giga Impact and use it immediately against the very next enemy, Druddigon. Black Panther goes down, but has gotten Druddigon very low, so Cap can easily finish him off. Next up, Cap's fighting an uphill battle against a Lapras, but with its normal gem boosted Crush Claw, he should get significant damage. It's a crit! A superpower brings the Archeops low, but down falls Cap. Our starter, he took us so far, that final crit may have won us the run. We are down to 2 members of the team. Loki comes in next and uses a super effective Thunderbolt, takes out Archeops. 2v2. Aggron comes in and absolutely annihilates Loki. This leaves us with 1 Mon. Remember when I caught Iron Man and said he may be the most important member? Well, it's a 1v2, so I guess we'll see if he lives up to his name. Knowing the Aggron cannot beat us in one hit, Iron Man gets worked up and boosts his attack, and then does it a second time, but takes a big chunk of damage from Double Edge. But now at +2, it should be easy for us to sweep. All we need is for Iron Man to live. 5 HP! It's Haxorus vs Cinccino. A +2 Tails Slap crit is enough to take down the ugly non-pseudo-legendary Pokemon. And with that unbelievable ending, we've beaten a Hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokémon Black 2 using only normal type Pokemon. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and let me know what game you want to see next.